Thanks, Sophie. Good evening. Welcome to Look North. Our top story tonight. The mother of Terry Harris, murdered alongside her children and their friend in Kilmarsh, says it should be easier to access information about the partners of close relatives.
We're just an average family, and so I don't think, oh, that can't happen to me. Because obviously 2 years ago we thought, well, that couldn't happen to us.
Angie says she wants to stop such an unspeakable tragedy happening again. Also tonight, waiting for a liver transplant at just 4 months old. A family appeals for a donor. We go training with the Sheffield Strikers as blind baseball becomes a fast-growing sport.
Other side. And again.
Move on with the Yorkshire charity helping the over 55s keep on moving.
And Storm Kieran looks set to bring us more rain up from the south in the next 12 to 18 hours. For that, the Met Office have yet another warning in place. Join me for the very latest.
Hello there, welcome to Wednesday's programme. The mother of Terry Harris has told Look North she was afraid for her daughter's safety in the months before she was murdered. She's now calling for family members concerned about a close relative's partner to be able to find out about any previous abusive or violent behaviour. Terry Harris was killed along with her 2 children, John and Lacey Bennett, and Lacey's friend, Connie Gent. Terry's partner, Damien Bendel, is serving a whole life sentence for murdering them at their home in Kilmarsh in September 2021. Corinne Wheatley has tonight's top story.
There wasn't a time he wasn't with her. It was just constant. She started to change the way she dressed. She was quite, always been a tomboy, always. But when she started going with him, it was like really tight shorts, low-cut tops. Her hair became bright red. Yeah, as if he was parading her around. So she was never alone, never.
Angie had been worried about her daughter's boyfriend for some time. Her instincts were correct. In 2021, Terry Harris, her 2 children, John and Lacey, and Lacey's friend Connie Gent were murdered by Terry's partner, Damien Bendel. Just a few months earlier, Angie had looked into using legislation called Clare's Law, aimed at protecting potential victims of domestic abuse, to get hold of information about Bendel's criminal history, but stopped.
I downloaded the form, tried to fill it in, and realised the information would probably go to my daughter. So then I thought, oh, I can't do that because he's there all the time, and would I put her in more danger? Would I put the children in danger? Or so, yeah, I didn't do it.
What do you think the key issues are with Clare's Law, and what are you hoping to see changed about it?
It just needs to be easy. It needs to be consistent. The form needs to be the same. So no matter where you are in the country, we can help you, or someone can point you in the right direction to find that form and how to fill it out. So it's not a scary form to fill out. It's not intimidating. And then that information can go to immediate loved ones. They've said they've changed it so it does go to immediate family member, but we've tested it and it still doesn't. It still goes to that victim. And if you're in a narcissistic relationship, if you are in a controlled relationship, it could make the situation worse, and that's the problem.
Terry's killer was jailed with a whole life order. An inquest into the deaths found there had been serious failings by the probation service, which was supervising Bendel at the time. Angie and Jade have now started a petition and met with ministers and the Home Office. They hope their campaigning will help potential victims and anyone worried about the safety of family members.
We have pushed people to get out of abusive relationships, which is amazing. If we can save 1, 2 people out of this, then that's what we'll do. We'll always do it. Don't give up. Please try to push to try and get them out of that relationship, because no one wants to be in the place we are now. And we're just an average family. And so don't think, oh, that can't happen to me, because obviously 2 years ago we thought, well, that couldn't happen to us.
Angie Smith. Well, we've contacted the Home Office about the issues raised by her and Jade. The Home Office says it has updated guidance for Clare's law to clarify that police can disclose information to the person they think is the most suitable to safeguard the potential victim, and the person potentially at risk should only be contacted when it is safe to do so. Now, other main news tonight, it's something no new parent ever imagines will happen, being told your baby might only have weeks to live. But for parents of 4-month-old Myla, it is a stark reality. She's in Leeds Children's Hospital and needs a liver transplant. Without one, she won't survive. Her parents are appealing for potential donors to come forward. Abby Jola has been to meet them.
Myla is just 4 months old, but she spent most of her life in hospital. She has a rare liver disease and needs an urgent transplant.
We don't know how bad the liver is, but we know it's every time she falls ill or gets an infection, which she has been getting, it's just getting worse and worse, and it gives the liver goes to cirrhosis more and more and more, and she'll just go straight into liver failure from that. So it's just a waiting game, but they have been told that she won't live by 6 months without a liver.
The family are from Scotland, but Leeds Children's Hospital is one of only 3 centres in the UK who can perform the type of transplant they need. A partial transplant from a living donor. Dad Liam isn't a match for donation, and Laura can't donate so soon after giving birth.
And we've basically been told that the chance of a deceased liver coming forward is very slim with the criteria that needs to be met for her to get that. And even alone, just getting a liver for Myla and saving her life, there's loads of other children out there that if people aren't a match for Myla, hopefully these people will be a match for them, and hopefully if we can save Myla's life and hopefully save another life in the process, then hopefully we've done some good in that as well.
Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
The family are making the most of their time together. Without a transplant, they could only have a few weeks left.
She's obviously, the liver's doing that poorly that she's just continuously getting infection after infection, so it's, you know, obviously she's not in the best place, but it's amazing to see that she's still smiling through the whole thing. We can still get little smiles from her, and she's still got so much energy in a sense, considering what you think's going on the inside. You can't really see that on the outside, which I think's remarkable for her case. So.
Leeds Children's Hospital have asked anyone who thinks they can help to contact them via the website. Myla's family are now waiting and hoping for a match that gives her the chance of a future.
I'm just praying that someone can come forward and save her, give her the liver that she needs and let her live life. That's all we can hope. We're just thinking positive and thinking hopefully somebody's a match for her and can come forward and give her that, because me and Dad obviously can't.
Well, Abby joins us now in the studio. That's a desperate situation for the parents, but Myla needs a living donor, doesn't she? So how does that work?
Well, there just aren't enough donors livers that are available from donors who've died, and sadly there are lots of people who need transplants. So what a living donor does is donates part of their liver, and that's given to the recipient. The donor spends about a week in hospital, and then they have a couple of months to recover, but it means much shorter waiting times, and for cases like Myla, that's really important.
But of course there might be people thinking, well, yes, I'm interested, I'd like to help, but there is a strict list of constraints, aren't there, on potential donors?
There is. There are only people who fit these criteria can apply, because there isn't time to go through all the assessments needed when they have to get this liver quickly. You have to be aged between 18 and 40. You can't be a smoker, or you have to be a light drinker. Also, body weight's important, because the baby is needing a small portion of liver. You have to be a smaller person, so under 65 kilograms, and your blood group has to be O or B, and it can be positive or negative. But you need to think very closely about whether you fit those criteria, because that really matters.
Let's say someone is watching tonight and thinks, well, that is me, I'd like to help. What do they do about it? How can they find out more?
Well, they need to contact Leeds Children's Hospital, and they can do that via the website. And they might not be able to help Myla, but there are so many people and children who need these donations that the hospital are keen to hear from someone. But do bear in mind those criteria. That's what they need you to be able to fit.
Myla, thank you very much indeed, Abby, for bringing us up to date on Myla's situation. Let's think happy thoughts and hope Myla gets a donation she needs. Thank you. You're watching Wednesday's Look North. Still to come on tonight's programme, Rob Burrow gets behind the mic with a brand new sporting podcast. Now, a woman from Leeds is backing calls for asbestos to be removed from all public buildings after she was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. Rose Hall is now 64, but as a young girl there was asbestos found in her school. The Health and Safety Executive says around 5,000 people die from asbestos exposure every year. The government says the substance is safe as long as it isn't damaged, as Hannah Gray reports.
It's changed me completely. Yeah, it's taken a lot of my confidence away. I'm not the person that I used to be. I'm lonely. But it was scared.
Rose is a devoted grandmother. She was an estate agent working all over Leeds, but recently she's had to give that up as she got the devastating news that she has incurable cancer.
It's hard to think I have to live with, knowing that I'm never going to be cured. And it has... I can't.
Rose is 64 and is only now feeling the effects of the hazardous substance she was exposed to decades ago as a schoolgirl. Rose has mesothelioma, which is directly caused by asbestos.
Asbestos is a strange and paradoxical substance. The packing in your radiator might be asbestos.
It was widely used from the 50s to the 70s. It was thought to be life-saving, as it can extinguish flames and is stronger than steel. But in 1999, it was banned. It was then discovered that inhaling asbestos when it's damaged can lead to fatal lung diseases.
We've still got more than 80% of schools containing asbestos, which of course is in the process of degrading. Under the current building programme, it will take 400 years to rebuild every school in England. To think that in 400 years' time we might still have asbestos in buildings really is completely unacceptable.
Records show that 5,000 people are dying each year from illnesses related to exposure to this dangerous substance. People like Rose, who was unknowingly breathing it in while studying at school.
And it's a worry to know that the children are in the schools where there's this substance that is causing this awful disease.
The government says asbestos is generally safe to be left in place. Where it does need to be removed, they say they'll work closely with responsible organisations. But now a coalition of trade unions, along with legal experts, have written to political leaders calling for a 40-year commitment to removing it. Rose says our children should no longer be put at risk. Hannah Gray, BBC Look North, Leeds.
A candlelit vigil has been planned by Sheffield Steelers fans this weekend. It's after Nottingham Panthers ice hockey player Adam Johnson died when he suffered a serious cut to his neck from a skate in a game against the Sheffield Steelers. Steelers supporters will meet outside Sheffield Arena for the vigil on Saturday night to pay tribute to him. The former boss of the man who is believed to have killed Gracie Spinks has told an inquest there were many red flags in his behaviour towards her. Michael Sellers was fired from his job after being reported for stalking by Miss Spinks, who had refused to pursue a romantic relationship with him in December 2020. Sellers is believed to have fatally stabbed her before taking his own life. Pupils from a secondary school in Wakefield have begun online learning after crumbling concrete was found on site. Reinforced autoclaved aerated concrete, also known as RAC, was found in a building at St Thomas's, a Beckett school, after a survey. Students in years 7 to 10 will be taught remotely for the next 3 weeks while works are undertaken. The schools say face-to-face learning will resume as soon as possible. We're into November and the days are colder, the nights are longer, and many people will be worrying about the spiralling cost of heating their homes. Last winter we saw libraries, churches and community centres setting up warm spaces, and demand is expected to increase this year. Our reporter NJ Convery has been to one in Bradford to find out more.
Places like this are opening their doors to more people than ever across the region. This is Shine in Bradford's West Bowling neighbourhood. It's a warm space, somewhere people can get out of the cold and meet with friends. With the cost of living rising, Kathleen and Diane, like many people, are struggling.
But the bills is sky high. I want them to lower the bills, like electricity and gas.
Diane is on a prepayment meter and is worrying about a request from her energy supplier to change to a smart meter.
I'm on a talker meter.
Okay. And do you notice you're filling it up more often?
Yeah. But a lot of people want us to go on The gas wants us to go on smart meter, and it's not easy for people with special needs.
Sarah and her team started running a warm space here last winter. With the weather turning colder, she says they're already seeing more people in need.
I think it's going to be a very challenging winter. I think that there will be more demand. It's just starting, isn't it? People don't have extra money that they've saved up particularly. And I think, once they start getting their heating bills in, it's going to really kick in and be very tough for some people.
The cost of living crisis is hitting communities across the region. Are you seeing your costs going up too?
We're needing more money just to keep our doors open.
Across the UK, 7,000 warm spaces signed up last year, and there were 143 of them in Bradford alone. That's risen to over 200 for this coming winter. And the story is the same across Yorkshire.
We're seeing hundreds of local groups registering as warm welcome spaces in Yorkshire, but we're also working really closely with local partners, with local authorities, and with other organisations. And that makes the warm spaces so much more than the sum of their parts, which is really exciting and encouraging to see.
That's certainly the case here. Yes, the warm space is vital for many, but it also provides a means by which the team can help more people in their community.
So people come through because they want to get warm, a cup of tea, slice of cake and some toast or whatever that looks like. But then we just sit and talk to them within that warm space and make them feel warm, not only on the outside but on the inside. It's not only about a warm space to sit in, it's about an environment where they're going to feel welcome.
NJ Convery, BBC Look North in Bradford.
Former Leeds Rhinos player Rob Burrow and his wife Lindsay are launching a brand new podcast in partnership with Radio Leeds. It will be the first of its kind because it's being hosted by someone who cannot speak and instead uses an eye gaze machine. To tell you more about it, here's the man himself.
Hi, I'm Rob Burrow and I've got some exciting news.
What could go wrong?
I'm hosting my own podcast. It's a chance for me to showcase my personality and have some fun.
I think, to kind of see the podcast and to bring it to life, and I think it's a really novel way. Rob obviously communicates via an eye gaze machine, so for him to be able to do a podcast, it's just absolutely brilliant. I've done sort of podcasts and things, but not where Rob's been involved, so this is kind of a novel, a new project, I think, isn't it? But one that we're really excited about, and we've got some brilliant guests coming up. Hi Wayne, how are you?
Hi, I'm great, thanks. How are you? Great to be here.
The first episode is going to be Wayne Rooney. I mean, we've grown up kind of watching Wayne as, massive football hero.
I'll interview 7 sporting icons and ask them 7 questions. I plan to be cheeky because I'll probably get away with it. It's going to be great. So make sure you subscribe to my podcast series 7, available on the Total Sport podcast on BBC Sounds.
That's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? The first episode, mark this in your diary, will be released next Wednesday, and that's the one featuring Wayne Rooney. Other guests include Yorkshire's own Hannah Cockcroft and rugby legend Johnny Wilkinson. To subscribe, look on the app, look for the Total Sports podcast on BBC Sounds. Staying with sport, it's becoming one of the fastest growing in the UK amongst the visually impaired. Blind baseball isn't just incredible to play, it's amazing to watch, as players with impaired and even no sight at all that bat, field and run between the bases. Carla Fowler has been to meet members of the Sheffield Strikers to try it for herself.
At a blind baseball training session in Dinnington, members of the Sheffield Strikers honed their skills. The team was founded by Jordan Hales. He lost his sight at just 25 and initially struggled to adapt. But now he wants other visually impaired people to experience the freedom of this sport and the confidence it can bring.
You get to bat, you get to run, you get to field, and also you get to throw as well to the second base catcher. So it's just all different elements to it, which makes it exciting. And also it's very inclusive. There's people in our group that have suffered strokes and have mobility issues, but they're still able to bat, still come week in, week out, and nothing matters. Everyone's just included, and that's one of the things that I love about it.
The balls have bells inside to give their location and direction. Players hit the ball into an area half the size of a normal baseball diamond, then have to run the bases and beat the fielders, just like in a regular game. But here, each base has a unique sound and a helper on it. Naman lost his sight through meningitis and thought his sporting life was over.
I lost my sight 2 years ago, and to be honest, I lost hope when I come back out of hospital. I was there for 7 months, and I got introduced to baseball, and something fired up in me, and I was egging everyone on, you know, getting that positive vibes in, and Jordan decided, right, he's found it, he's captain now.
This month, Jordan and Naman represented Great Britain in the Blind Baseball European Championships. They brought a bronze medal home. Charities like the Sheffield Royal Society for the Blind have helped with support and funding, recognising the life-changing potential of sports like this.
The freedom they get from being able to run or just hitting the ball, and like you say, you've seen the guys, they field extremely well these days. It's fantastic. Give it a go.
It's all about the sound, and you have to concentrate so hard. But I'm gradually improving, so and beginning to really enjoy it.
I'll actually be an OAP in 2 weeks' time, but I still like to compete against these young ones.
One of the only sports in the world to involve free running with no guide, blind baseball is the ultimate test of speed, skill and spirit. Carla Fowler, BBC Look North, Dinnington.
Thanks, Carla. That looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? Now, finally, tonight, we all have a bit of a boogie. Some of us are better at it than others. But now, as well as putting a smile on your face, getting your toes tapping is proven to reduce the risk of falls as we get older. For 5 years, Yorkshire Dance has run over 3,500 dance-on sessions for the over 55s. They've just secured funding for another 3 years, so we sent Beth Parsons along to get into the groove.
Yeah, we're going to start now. Are you ready?
Shushma, Raj and Gunwati are ready to move.
We go here.
They're just 3 of more than 1,200 adults over 55 in Leeds and Bradford who have joined in since these dance-on classes begun 5 years ago.
Other side.
Physical exercise is good for everybody. I like to think I've always been doing it, but that's not the case.
We are really thrilled. It is so encouraging to our group. We enjoy it to the best, really.
I am an arthritis patient, and when I move my body, my pain's going to less and circulation is going to better.
And have you noticed it's helped? Has it made a difference?
Yeah, I get a happiness.
One more here.
The classes are run by Yorkshire Dance, and Sophie runs 3 of them a week.
This is like the best job ever because it doesn't feel like work. And from me starting these classes and seeing where people are, so like low moods and coming into class and they might have like a few health conditions that are keeping them, you know, like not having as much mobility. But then I've seen like over time, once they've been doing dancing, I'm not saying it's gone away, but you can see the changes in them, like they maybe carry themselves a little bit better. They're coming into the class with a spring in the step because it's like they're enjoying doing the dancing.
Standing nice and tall if you can now.
And those physical benefits, they're not just anecdotal. Biomedical experts say these sessions are an effective way of reducing the risk of falls and preventing a downward spiral into frailty.
So we know from the evidence and the data that have been gathered by the University of Leeds that dance promotes health and well-being, physical activity, it can improve strength and balance, and also the social aspect of it is really important. As you can see today, it's about connecting with your community and connecting with other older adults.
This group is really doing so well, and we have got a long waiting list.
When you were dancing up there, I saw you singing as well. Is singing allowed in the classes?
I told to Sophia, can I sing? She says yes.
Does Raj have rhythm?
No.
2
left feet. Sorry.
Raj's 2 left feet have never stopped him before, and they're not about to start now. Beth Parsons, BBC Look North, Hare Hills.
Oh, brilliant stuff. We are loving your rhythm. Thank you very much indeed for letting us come and film you today. Sticking with your getting your groove on, Pinch Punch, it's the first of the month. It's November, and that means very soon everything will be coming up yellow. Pudsey Bear is limbering up for the BBC's annual Children in Need appeal. Every year, the Big Spectacular raises millions of pounds for charity, which changes lives in our part of the world. So, have you got a plan to challenge yourself? Do please tell us what you're doing by emailing look.north@bbc.co.uk. And you never know, we might come and see you on the big day, which this year is November the 17th. If Paul was doing a sponsored Name a Storm, he'd be about to write us a very big cheque by now, wouldn't you? You're going to write us a big cheque anyway, aren't you?
Well, I don't know about that, but let's put it to bed. Storm Kieran is not going to impact us whatsoever. It's way down
This
south.
isn't your Michael Fish hurricane moment. I'm just writing it down.
Yes,
just writing it down.
It will bring... we've got a warning out for rain, but as regards winds, the damaging winds are going to be way down south, so we can put that to bed and have a look at what is a beautiful picture.
That is amazing.
Grenoside Woods, it's a lovely spot just out Sheffield, and it was lovely to see the sun rising there, but a reminder as to how saturated the land is. That's the River Derwent, somewhere along there, running through Malton and Norton. The river levels are very high, and there is more rain to come, not just tonight, but actually for the first half of November. It looks as though it's going to stay very unsettled. If you've got any pictures, Twitter, Instagram, or the Weather Watcher website, the addresses are on your screen right now. So we do start yet again with another weather warning. This is for heavy rain after midnight. There could be 20-30 millimetres in places added to the saturated land. There's Storm Kieran drifting into the North Sea on Friday. Friday's probably going to be the windiest of the 2 days. This weather system just coming in late Saturday, bringing more patchy rain. If all this stays the same, it's a real mess, but it does look as though Sunday will be the driest and the brightest day, with hopefully some sunshine at long last. Right, there's a radar picture. The weather front that's going to bring the rain, it's just coming into Cornwall and Devon, and it's going to move very quickly north-eastwards. So apart from 1 or 2 showers this evening, it looks fairly quiet before cloud builds, and there's that rain associated with Storm Kieran. The greens indicate some heavy bursts, but thankfully it is moving through fairly quickly. We'll see lowest temperatures coming in at around 6 or 7 degrees Celsius. So tomorrow's high water times, a rough day along the coast actually. Scarborough 6:39, Filey at 6:45 with a fresh to strong east or north-east wind. So tomorrow really it's mostly cloudy. We've got showers or longer outbreaks of rain. You can see there are some gaps in the rain, but also it perhaps merges to give longer spells, especially across South Yorkshire later. So it's not going to rain all day long. There will be some drier gaps, but that rain never far away. The wind picking up, but really nothing out of the ordinary for early November. Temperatures around 11 or 12 degrees Celsius. Actually very windy on Friday, with showers giving way to some sunshine in the west. Saturday, quite cloudy, some patchy rain later on. There's a promise of a half-decent day on Sunday. What could possibly go wrong?
In all seriousness, people are going to be concerned by the blue you've just shown us there. You think it is going to move through quickly and...
Yeah, I mean, but there is a lot of rain to come over the next 2 weeks, so we'll have to keep an eye on it.
All right, thanks very much indeed, Paul. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you for your company. We are here at 10:30, but from all your Wednesday night team, bye-bye.